Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, we are going to be doing a collective reading and energy update. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the cards to get started, but I want to let you know as well that while I was pre-shuffling, preparing for this reading today, there were actually 3 cards that came out right away here. And I don't believe in coincidences or accidents, of course, so I really believe that these cards were meant to set the tone for at least the initial messages that are going to be coming through the reading. So the cards here are the 3 of Swords, the Lovers card, which of course, as we know, is a really powerful card for love and connection, specifically soul connection. For some reason, I'm hearing the phrase free from control. So someone might be in the process of freeing themselves from control, whether it's a controlling dynamic, person, or situation. This also could be more of an internal process of freeing yourself from feeling the need to over control in your life, or because this is the Lovers card, maybe this releasing of control is actually something taking place in your love life specifically. We also have the 5 of Cups in the reverse position. This is about really healing, moving forward, forgiveness. But in this forgiveness, I'm hearing that specific word as a letting go. Now, you can take this how or if it resonates. This doesn't necessarily have to mean letting go of a person specifically or a connection. This could just be letting go of, again, that need to control a certain outcome, a certain person, a dynamic. This might be just releasing yourself from constantly replaying or cycling through the past, really allowing yourself to focus your full attention in your empowerment in the now, in what you're excited about for the future without needing to necessarily go back and rehash the past. It's like wiping the slate clean here. But also with this rejoining the world, I'm seeing that you are reconnecting with others in the physical in a more powerful way than ever before in this lifetime. Now, for some of you, this reconnection might be more of a futuristic message. So this might be more predictive for some of you who have been really longing for or craving those physically manifested connections, whether they are social, platonic, romantic, in the workplace, however you might be manifesting that. I see that in some sense, you are going to be reintroducing this new version of yourself to the world. And this is going to be leading to a lot of physical reconnection in ways that feel really good to you and really aligned for you. So it's very interesting that these themes are coming up in the reading here right away. I do want to pull some clarification cards. So what other messages can I share for the beautiful souls listening? By the way, I do tend to channel many different people and groups throughout these readings. So always only take the messages that really resonate with you in that personal and intuitive place within yourself, because that is where all of your power lies. That is really where all of your answers lie. And my only goal through these readings is really to reconnect you with that intuition, with that inner knowing within yourself. I'm seeing someone going up against some kind of tide, like a tide in the ocean. And it's almost like going against the crowd here is what I'm getting. It's like there's this pulling, but you're pushing against it. And what I mean by that is I feel that there is a certain groupthink mentality. This might be a belief system. This might be a group of people who are thinking, acting, or behaving a certain way. This might be society generally, but I feel that for the person I'm channeling here, you are going against the grain of whatever this mentality is. And I am going to see if I can get more information. Okay, we have the Star card. I'm hearing that you are on a much more spiritual path than many of the people around you. And what I mean by that is you incarnated in this lifetime with a really strong sense of purpose. The word rebel is coming out here, that you may have had this rebellious spirit in the sense that you were not willing to conform to what you were being taught or told about how you were supposed to dictate or live your life. The word dreams is coming out. So you may have always been considered a dreamer by people around you, or like someone who had these really big dreams. But what people didn't realize is these dreams were actually visions given to you by the divine. These weren't just mere fantasies. They were actually soul intentions that were integral parts of your soul's contract, meaning that divine blueprint that you as a higher self created for your physical human self and for this lifetime prior to incarnation. And within this soul contract were some of these, what other people are considering to be outlandish dreams, but they're not outlandish. They are actually things that you came here to do, to be, or to achieve. Now, with this Four of Wands in the reverse position, I also feel that this highly spiritual path has led the person I'm channeling today to some kind of challenging situation related to romantic relationships. So for some of you listening, your spiritual path may have led you to some kind of breakup, some kind of divorce or separation. This also could indicate that you simply always found it difficult to really fully ground into one singular, long-term, harmonious love connection. And it may have been really confusing to you as to why, because I feel that you do have this really powerful energy when it comes to manifesting your dreams and desires. And so many of those desires have been coming to fruition. So it's almost this big question mark of why is it that specifically when it comes to love and romance, it's been difficult to stabilize in certain forms of long-term connection. Now, of course, I know that I'm not speaking to everyone here, so only take this if it is connecting with you. I feel we're picking up on a very specific thread of energy here. But with the Nine of Pentacles card, I'm getting that you are someone who's been in this state of independent thriving. I specifically feel that I might be speaking to a divine feminine here who has come from a line of feminine energies who I'm hearing were in bondage in some sense to society, to limiting belief systems, to rules and regulations that kept them held down, that kept them from pursuing their own dreams in life, or being able to be independent and really come into their full purpose as a soul here on earth. And I'm hearing you have these ancestors behind you because you are walking in their footsteps, but doing what they could not do. It's like you are furthering a mission that they could not further. I know we're talking in kind of mysterious terms here, but that's kind of just how the messages are coming through. It's almost like you're picking up the torch here by incarnating at this time. And you're taking that torch from your ancestors and furthering it to places that they were unable to go. But this also means that you have not been allowed to settle in love. You have been meant to rise and to elevate in love, in connection. So for some of you on the outside, to others, this actually may have looked like a lot of instability, chaos, or confusion in your romantic world or in your love connections. Even if you have had one dominant long-term romantic relationship, the thing is, because you've been meant to elevate continuously and not to settle, you've most likely found that there have been some really strong mutual triggers that have come up within that specific connection that have really helped the both of you to continue growing and elevating. But it may look, again, externally like it's been a much more challenging path for you in love and relationships than most. And know that this is an integral part. It's an aspect, a key component of your soul contract. Not that you were meant to struggle in love or anything like that, but that you are literally incapable of settling as a soul. And that willingness to settle often allows people to stabilize in what we might think of as lower vibrational, but perhaps comfortable romantic connections that look stable externally, but are still somewhat mediocre vibrationally speaking, that aren't really pushing the person to continuously grow and elevate and evolve themselves. And again, you have never been capable of settling for that kind of connection. You were here to experience love that truly elevates you, that pushes you to expand. And for some of you, that might be happening through that one dominant long-term romantic connection. For others of you, that might be occurring through multiple different partners or people that you've been meeting or connecting with over the course of time. And only you can know which resonates for you. Of course, there's no right or wrong in any of this. It's all about your unique core soul intentions. And those are spoken to you, by the way, through your pure core soul desires, those things that just feel aligned for you, that bring you ease, that bring you peace, that feel resonant for you. Those are indications that a certain trail of energy or thread of thoughts or situation is really optimal for your soul's growth at that point in time. Okay, so I am going to be shuffling the cards here and doing something that we don't really always do in these main readings. Sometimes I will do this on Patreon, which, by the way, if you would like to join our Patreon Soul Tribe, it's a really beautiful high vibrational space where I post 3 additional readings every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, along with these main collective readings. The link to join the Patreon is always in the pinned comment and description box underneath these videos. But the thing I'm going to do that I don't always do in these main readings is I really want to open up the reading and channel through whatever energies, people, or situations might be connected to your aura. Now, do keep in mind that, as I say to our Patreon group whenever we channel in this way, we do tend to pick up on a lot of different threads of energy, which can be a really beautiful thing because I find that the messages can resonate in really unique and intimate ways. But also this means a higher level of discernment is necessary because we will be picking up on threads of energy that may connect to you in some kind of intuitive, abstract way, or might not connect to you at all. Also, I usually say this near the beginning of the readings, but whenever I mention those terms, divine feminine or divine masculine, just to clear up any mystery around how I'm using those labels, these aren't connected to gender or anything like that. These are the different polarities that are essentially the building blocks of all of nature. Everything has masculine and feminine counterpart aspects, including our own self. So we all actually have a balance of both divine feminine and divine masculine energies internally. So those messages could apply to your internal divine feminine or divine masculine, to an external person, or even to something more higher level or abstract for you that doesn't even have to be a person. It could be a theme, a situation, an opportunity, things like that. So right at the bottom of the Energy Oracle cards deck, as I was rambling on there, we do have the card Cornucopia. So this card to me is signaling heightened manifestation power. And this does come with a bit of a caveat here, because this card is really centralized at this moment at the sacral chakra. What this means to me is that in order to really fully be accessing and harnessing this very intense manifestation ability at this time, it is so essential to be working on and keeping a close connection with your sacral chakra. Now, do keep in mind that the sacral chakra is really deeply connected to your physical body, especially if you identify more so with the divine feminine polarity. This is so connected to your femininity, how you feel about yourself, your physicality, your body, your sense of feeling beautiful and comfortable in your own skin, in your own unique way, and really embracing all of that fully. This, especially again as a divine feminine, this deep radical self-acceptance, especially when it comes to your appearance, your physical body, how you carry yourself, is so activating and healing to the sacral chakra. But also this is about really staying fully present in the now. And I'm hearing the discipline of the now. And of course, I don't mean discipline like punishment, but more like a practice where it's taking a lot of trained focus and practice to really keep yourself in the now moment, especially in a world where it is so easy to become distracted, where our attention can be so quickly pulled into the past, into the future. I'm hearing even into cross comparison. When we cross compare ourselves, our body, our mindset, our material things, our life, whatever the case is, to someone else, we are actually removing ourselves from our own body, our own energy in a sense. I'm hearing be in your own energy and in the now moment fully, and you will be staying really connected with that sacral chakra, which again is where so much of your manifestation power is flowing through at this time, especially if you are here resonating as the divine feminine. So what else can I channel about manifestations happening for divine feminines? A deep sense of your own empowerment with Goddess of the Moon in the upright position. I'm hearing that if there are some things that you've been visioning or actively trying to manifest in your life at this moment, know that you are going to be receiving a powerful sign that these things are on the way or are coming very soon in the form of a newfound, deepened feeling of self-empowerment. You're going to feel your own power, your own stability, your own connectedness to the divine in a deeper and more radical way than before. And that is actually going to be a confirmation for you, a sign, so to speak, prior to when those what you might think of as major manifestations start flooding into your life. For some of you, because we are all on different timelines here, you might actually already be in the stage where these manifestations are really making themselves known or coming in a stronger way. But we do have the strategy card reversed and the hostilities card in the reverse position. So interestingly, these cards are actually sitting on the third eye, and the strongest message I'm getting here is you are being led by your third eye. So release the need for a plan. I know that sounds so strange, but it's almost like the plan's already been written. I'm hearing it's been written in the stars. It's your destiny. There is this energetic path, so to speak, that's already been laid out before you. And my guides are showing me that trying to create your own plan here through the conscious level of the mind would almost be equivalent to trying to plan a course to a certain city, but plotting that course so that you're walking out in circles way off in the desert, and then backtracking, and then going forward, and then finally beginning to move towards your destination. So yes, you would still get to that destination, but there would be so much runaround, because that's what the conscious mind does. It sends us kind of running around thinking that we are being productive or taking steps towards a goal just because we are busy or because we're moving, when really we could just be running in circles. Whereas the soul knows the direct path. The difference here that my guides are outlining is it's almost like, again, your conscious mind is trying to get you running in circles here out in the desert, but your soul is leading you gently and easily in this really effortless fashion, step by step down this direct course. But I'm hearing the thing is, your human self will judge you when you take the soul's path, and it will tell you that you're not moving fast enough because you're not running. But the ego is sending you running in circles just so you feel more productive because you're technically moving faster, but you're not, from an energetic perspective, actually making faster progress towards the goal than the path that your soul is leading you down. That again, has a feeling of peace and ease accompanied with it. It's really the epitome of the catchphrase, work smarter, not harder, except taken in the context of more so a spiritual and energy perspective, that everything follows the path of least action, as Neville Goddard says in one of his books. I do really love his work. If you ever get the chance to explore it, or maybe you already are a fan of his work, but the law of least action states in this instance, applied in this instance, that energy always follows the fastest or shortest route. So essentially, we are here trying to create the most efficient route from point A to point B, point A being wherever we are, point B being that higher vibrational timeline that we are going to be aligning with, that contains the automatic fulfillment of whatever those goals and dreams and visions are that you've been holding for yourself. But the thing is, you're being led down that path of least action, not through your conscious logic, through your mind kind of working it out and plotting it out and making you run around, but through listening to the intuition and being led down the soul's path. And I'm hearing once again it being emphasized to release any self-judgments around feeling as though you're not quote unquote moving fast enough, because everything is so relative. And oftentimes, again, the ego will kind of send us running around and we'll feel like we're moving fast when we're getting nowhere. Whereas the soul can lead us down this path that feels easier, but is actually technically more productively and efficiently guiding us towards the fulfillment of our goal. So this has been such an interesting portion of the reading. I didn't expect us to be having this kind of quantum conversation here, but I am getting another message for you as well about something to do with your love life and keeping a hold on your heart while also keeping your heart open, releasing heavy attachments that are no longer aligned with you at this point in time, that are weighing you down, that feel heavy when you get around them, because of course that feeling of heaviness whenever you're around something indicates that it's out of alignment for you, or that your intuition is telling you to take a pause from it, to perhaps pull back a bit and clear your energy. And oftentimes our minds can get over involved when we do feel this kind of heaviness around certain individuals, people, connections, because we can feel guilty for feeling the need to pull back or create space or let something go without really being able to at times pinpoint exactly why. And I'm hearing we're moving into an era where, because of how far we've ascended, it's so essential to trust and act on those gut feelings that you know how to tune into before they fully make sense to you, because the truth will be revealed to you. But you don't have to wait for that clear, concrete thing to point to as to why you needed to take some space for yourself or let something go or move in a new direction. You can feel it energetically and emotionally first. So that's a really powerful message coming through for those of us who are in this collective, which, by the way, of course, if you have found and you're feeling a resonance with this video, especially listening this far into the reading, I do believe it's for a reason. You are one of those who are on this, what we might call, leading edge of collective consciousness, where you are paving the path for others to follow. And what this means, and what we've really been emphasizing, especially in recent reading videos, is that your path is going to look very different from others. And that is because you are living in the same world as them, but operating in an entirely different vibrational reality, where the programs and the mindsets and the things, the tools they might be using in their reality will not necessarily work for you, which is why it's so essential to always be very highly attuned to your own internal guidance. That is your compass and your guiding light through all of this. But I do want to hone in a little more on what's happening here romantically. I am seeing that valuing your peace seems to be essential, as well as keeping a hold on your heart, in the sense that I'm hearing you are not allowing yourself to be controlled, to be manipulated, or to shy away from speaking and communicating and living your own truth in the moment, whatever that is for you, because this woman holding a heart card is actually sitting on the throat chakra. I'm also seeing that through all of that, though, the beautiful thing is, while you are standing very strong with that bright, open throat chakra energy, living your truth, not allowing yourself to be controlled or manipulated, you also have your heart wide open. I'm hearing you are the embodiment of soft strength, because you have this beautiful heart open softness about you, but you are also extremely strong and, for lack of better wording, not to be messed with from a spiritual perspective. You are highly divinely protected. So here we have door to romance as well. And what I'm getting here is that there does seem to be some powerful new doorway or opportunity opening for you in love. For some reason, I'm hearing many are becoming ready that were not ready before. So if you are in the dating world and you've had multiple different romantic options or people from your past that have been coming back into your life, I'm hearing that these are actually souls that you've been connected to via the quantum realm. And through your awakening, you've actually been awakening them as well. This is why, and this might be so specific to just one or two people listening, but for someone listening, you have people that you've been romantically involved with in the past, whether it's exes, people that you dated, people you knew briefly, who are on a similar path to you in the sense that they also may have had difficulty really fully locking in a love connection for the long term or stabilizing a connection in love. And you may have found it uncanny that there were these people from your past who, like you, may have struggled to, from an external perspective, really stabilize or lock in a long-term romantic connection. And the thing about this is, it's actually not a coincidence what I'm really seeing from a quantum perspective, because we are all connected in this web of consciousness, is that if I'm speaking to you, you've been almost like this beacon or this lighthouse of energy. And anyone who's been connected to you energetically, meaning those who share a similar core soul frequency to you, who have interacted with you heavily in this lifetime, they have remained connected to you. And even if you've been out of touch, they've been incredibly impacted by the shifts that you've been making within yourself. By awakening yourself, you've been awakening many others, and many of whom you are completely unaware. So it's very interesting. It's almost like we're bookending the reading here, because in the beginning of this reading, we talked about you being kind of different, leading this different life from people around you romantically, maybe feeling like you'd been on this path where things hadn't really been stabilizing romantically or otherwise. But now it's almost like we are closing the reading with this other perspective that through being on this unique path, you have empowered and inspired others to embrace their own unique journey, to not fall in line with what society may be telling them to do, or how society might be telling them to live their own life. So I'm just getting this really powerful closing message about never underestimating the impact that your personal choices to empower love and free yourself have on so many people who do have the privilege of being connected to you. Now, I will be ending the reading as we normally do with a Rumi Oracle card, but we will be extending this reading on Patreon. So for those of you who are feeling a deep resonance here and are guided to join me in the extended version of the reading on Patreon, you can do so by clicking the link in the pinned comment and description box underneath the video. But for now, I'm going to close this first reading with the Rumi Oracle card, Sacred Phoenix Heart. Well, rising from the ashes seems so appropriate as imagery to close out this reading. So let's see what the guidebook has to say here. Under the cover of blood, love veils many rose gardens. In total faith, love tenderly guides every lover to the garden of the heart. Reason says the world is limited in 6 directions. There is no way out. Love says there is a way, and I have traveled it many times. Rumi. And the guidebook also says, love guides us through travails that seem improbable, if not impossible. It does not shy away from any challenge, from any cause. It cannot. It is just love's way. Love says to us, there is always another way. You are receiving this guidance now. Do not turn back or away from your progress. Your very next steps shall be upon hallowed ground, rendered golden by the rays of the rising sun. So that feels like a really beautiful place to close the reading. Thank you so much again for tuning in today. As I always say, all of these readings really are co-creations. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for co-manifesting all of these reading videos. And of course, the link to the extended version of the reading where we will be diving deeper into who may be connecting with you energetically, any other messages that want to come through. The link to that is under the video. If you do resonate with me, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, join our beautiful community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself, where I post more energy updates, inspiration, and information. I am sending you all huge amounts of love and light energy today. Have a beautiful remainder of your day and start to your week. And I will connect with you here again in Wednesday's reading.